I like the Siege van mold. I only got crosshairs, but I still quite like it. Then the Earthrise one came out and I wasn't a huge fan of it. It had a lot of QC issues on a lot of people's copies, not everybody's, but a lot of people's, breakages and loose joints and so on. So how does the legacy version of this mold fare? Did they make it feel a lot better than the previous version, like Lift Ticket? Yes, but it doesn't matter anymore as we have the SS86 one coming out and I'm very excited for it. I really like the van style. I really want both G1 Ironhide and the MP one as well, so someday I'll have those. SS86 doesn't come out till like the end of this year or to the beginning of next year for the public, but we all know Australia or the UK or Singapore will get it in like 2 months anyways. So to tie us over for then, we have this. I've seen a lot of people use this as their like quote unquote legacy movie universe Ironhide. And that actually works quite a bit. A G1 styled movie Ironhide, I'm so down for that. G1 styled movie characters, I just think is really neat. Same in the reverse. It's just cool. I wish they did more of that. But what did I mean by this being an improvement? Well, it feels a lot nicer. The legacy toys in general just feel nicer than the later War for Cybertron stuff, and this is no slouch in that. The only thing that feels a bit precarious is the front windshield still using that thin, clear hinge, because they wouldn't go to that extensive of a tooling change just for a simple Selects redeco. At least not when they have a new version of the same type of toy coming out in a couple of months. I love the deco. The black and red looks very sharp, and the gold accents, while there could be more, are also nice to see. The tooling on this too just kind of stands out more to me over Ratchet. I don't know, it just looks hella better than Ratchet. Oh, and by the way, as I was writing this stupid thing, feckin' Ratchet died. So the chest pegs have been sitting in their robot mode configuration for a few months now, and I guess there was just some pressure buildup because I picked it up by the leg, mind you, and it's split in 2 places. The Legacy one just feels a lot more robust in that same area, so I have no worries that it will break. I also don't really cover this that often in videos I do of toys like this, but he's covered in 5mm ports, so you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want, and this plate pattern is still a lot of fun to me. The sled though, let's talk about that. I feel if they wanted to do the sled to fit this type of toy into a deluxe budget, they should have gone all out with it. It's just a slab that sits there and does nothing unless it's a shield or like a surfboard. They should have gone all out with the treads and the arm thing, but nah. However, it has some nice weapon storage, so props for that. He does also look great with Crosshair's weapon, so I'm going to keep that with him on display. So I know it's old news by now because this mold has been out for ages, but if you, in the off chance you haven't messed with this mold, you'd be surprised to figure out how much articulation this chunkster has packed in him, because the whole thing with Siege has been just like getting things to be extremely posable, and they did that here. That's the main gimmick of this toy line, because you know toy lines always have their own set of gimmicks like lights and sounds or all that other stuff, and Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom started the whole 5mm ports and articulation and blast effects as gimmicks. So this guy has a ball jointed head, but mine is extremely stiff, so I'm going to show you how it works on Ratchet. It's a ball joint. Mine is it's so stiff on my copy. I can kind of get it to move, but not really. He can turn, not so much that way, but this way he can. That's just a QC error on my half. He does have shoulders that go out, and if you move the bumper out of the way, you can get them going even further out, so you have that little bit of range there, which is nice. He does have rotation at the shoulder, and he has bicep rotation a little bit over 90 degrees at the elbow, and wrist can rotate as well. Got a waist joint. It kind of clicks back into place, which is kind of funny. You can hear it there. It's really weird. The legs can go forward and back and in and out. You have a thigh swivel. A knee that bends a little too high for my liking. Doesn't really accomplish much. And then ankle pivot, but I kind of wish that his ankles could go forward and back, but you know, they can't. I think the non-F feet can do that or something. I don't know. Non-F stuff doesn't ship to where I live, unfortunately, so I can't actually order them. But it's not bad for what you're getting here. Then there's the sled. Transformation is pretty straightforward. If you've messed with any of these molds, it's exactly the same. The way the arms tuck into the body is pretty neat, but the sled part forming the top can be a pain sometimes because there's 4 pegs going into slots that require a lot of force, and I just don't like how much force you have to put on it, because if you press from the wrong areas, the entire alt mode comes apart, and it's a little annoying, and it's a little precarious too. If they had only done 2 pegs in port, that would have been a lot easier, or just one, the one at the back. Would have been much nicer, but as it is, it's a bit tough. This is the best version of the Earthrise van mold for me though, because there's no real color matching needed here, and it really benefits from all the black being the same color. It looks so cohesive. The gold stripe on the side looks extremely clean and diaclone, and the silver on the front is epic. I just kind of wish for the little bit extra money that Selects Toys go for that they painted the rims, but whatever. It feels a lot more dense than the Earthrise version, but they both weigh the same. I put them on a scale and they both weigh the same. It even feels better than Crosshairs a bit, which is a nice surprise. The feet as well, they don't stick out as bad as the others, unlike, you know, Shadowglass Ratchet here. I would still kind of prefer a proper back of the van, but on guard they blend in a lot better and stay away from your eyes. Like, your eyes don't immediately go to the feet when you look at this from a side view. And because the black plastics are very easy to color match, they don't look like they're some different color. The van, I will say, seems a little bit too long, but not by much. The bulk on top makes it feel less long than the Siege one, but that proportional issue is I can still see it, and it still is a little bit of a minor gripe to me. I do really like it though, and I would recommend getting one, but like, there's also a new one coming out. Granted, it's Voyager price, but like the deluxe price version here has parts forming because it doesn't fit into the budget versus the Voyager budget, allowing them to get everything more integrated on the new one. I like Guard, and I'm constantly messing with him, so even though SS86 Ironhide is right around the corner, I would still recommend getting this guy because I don't see them making a Diaclone deco of the 86 one, especially considering the fact that he's just for 86 and he wasn't Diaclone in the 86 movie. Anyways, I definitely recommend getting one. That's my look at DK2. Yeah, 2 Guard. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.